Welcome, crypto media friends, to another overtime show. Getting back on the horse a bit. We've been off. We've been running around doing some projects here in Hollywood where we make traditional media, but we also do the side hustle here in Web3 to try and understand the tools available as creators in the space. And sometimes I just degen out. And this is a case here. I'm going to talk about Los Muertos. I'm just hanging out with the Goon Gang fam, which is a project that I've been covering for a long time here, ever since its mint, and had those instincts of like, oh hey, this is a quality project. As soon as you see the art, you start to understand like, okay, great, and you start to talk to the team, and then you start understanding, okay, this is a quality vision, they are, I think, probably still among the precipice of becoming a true blue chip as sort of they expand. These projects need time, and so that's the really tough part. And so I think Goon Gang actually did get a partnership with Urban Outfitters. So you're going to be seeing Goon Gang all over Urban Outfitters very soon, at over 220 some storefronts all across the nation/world. And so I'm just on a chat call with these guys, and just hanging out and talking. And it was just like, I feel like the people in Europe have it pretty bad when it comes to mints in terms of timing wise, right? Like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. If you're in or you're just like in Asia, and like, they seem to make the mints like very easily accessible to those, just coming home from Eastern Standard Time, and perhaps just, a little bit tighter for West Coast. But, you have people who are waiting up to like 1, 2 in the morning to try and mint. And so a real nice British guy was on there, and he's just like, I'm so tired. I'm trying to get to this mint. It's called Los Muertos. And so, let's go walk through it real quick. This is kind of my process. Zero financial advice, because we don't do that here on this channel. We just talk about projects that, we think are interesting and something to watch. But again, I really freaking degened into this through this method. I looked at the team, go to the website, I looked at the team, and I'm just like, oh, they're not doxed. I mean, there's like the artist is not doxed, the founders/social media person joined in January, has 1,000 followers. We'll review the numbers, but roughly about 28,000 Discord, 30,000 Discord, and about 50,000 on Twitter. You don't get to find that out until later, so all you get is the Twitter interface, which again was very interesting. So I was just like, but I did kind of like the art as I'm looking through this group. But I do know that they do kind of hold typically the Grail ones as part of the team. So you kind of have to take these with a grain of salt. Anytime you see like the crew ones, you're like, okay, these are good. These are interesting. They're unique. And I think what they do is they get the Day of the Dead Sugar Skulls look better than any project I've seen, because around Day of the Dead, a lot of NFT projects came out, including this one. And I don't know, it's just like, I didn't think it was, super exciting to me. So it's just like, it just felt like a cash grab, honestly. Hey, Dead's coming. Let's do a NFT on it. And so, just kind of like one of the ones I passed on, but here I felt like they're capturing something that's fun, something that looked very like the Skulls versions of Dead Friends, Dead Heads, that I was, I like the look of, but I never really got into, because unfortunately, they got into the development of their pilot very quickly and released their pilot very quickly, and their episodes, and I just didn't think that experiment was working. It could turn around, and I go over that in a lot of my videos, where that turnaround is and where that turnaround is possible. Don't see it quite yet with Deadheads. Like, subscribe, hit me in the comments if you're seeing a turnaround in Deadheads or something else. And so I was like, okay, this is a community that the devs are a bit more established in the Twitter community. I just didn't get a sense that of a super strong authenticity, because I'm looking at Ksenia, ostensibly, which is like Eastern European name, playing in sort of, Mexican culture and Mexican heritage, but, respect that they respect it. And again, they found something I think that's fun in the look of what they created. So I was like, okay, just like kind of weighing the positives and negatives. I go to the roadmap and, it's like really nothing there, right? I think that's what everyone's hitting the Discord right now. Like, what is this project? Why? Why is this mooning? Why is this flying? Why? What's the utility? I don't think they quite know, but I'm going to share with you something that I did find, which really sort of tipped the hand for me. And so, Los Muertos, 90 days after, they may drop a 1,000-piece collection on people. Don't know what that means. Opportunities to, collaborate with, other, or meet new communities. Essentially, I think they have just people who are part of a lot of other communities. And I think this is a project that really leverages in its marketing its existence and its community members within other communities. Gutter Cats and Cryptoon Goons. The Goons found out about it because there was a holder who is a part of this team, I believe. And so he held Goons, and so they're all reaching out. So, you get a big enough team, they're all probably part of Web3 in some degree. They've all been in other projects, and so they've decided as a marketing push to leverage those communities. So they have general collabs, but just there's nothing here on the roadmap. Let's just, before we skip past this, there's just nothing there. And so, here's sort of, gutter cats, cosmic cats, cool, like, some of these like sort of, mid-tiery squishy verse, had a moment. But these are, decent projects that they've, found nice little collabs with. And again, this helps bring a lot of credibility. So I'm starting to think like, okay, well, these are people who are at least part of the communities. And they're bringing these communities, to bear almost as if, being sponsored to some degree, And so, once you get past that, there's, sort of the laundry list. You start with, Bored Ape Yacht Club, Basie, Mutant Ape Yacht Club, Macy, and, and then you see Azuki. And so, you hit those communities and you try and find, who's going to collaborate with you or who wants to sort of leverage the number of Twitter followers, the number of following that you're going to have to hop on to potentially do collabs and then also germinate into their project as well. I think every project is kind of searching for that. They see the ability to grow from that to some degree. I just know in this particular instance, this had a massive effect. They were able to bring together, again, a very big mint that lasted maybe a minute. I watched it go down live. There were some people that were in the pre-sale. Something about probably at least half the collection, maybe about 4,000. The other half of the collection was up for the public sale. And I just saw the public sale upload to Opensea almost at once in sum. So we're talking about a massive mint. Gas prices were quite high, so I cooled off. Actually, I didn't even try to mint. I was just like, gas. It was really like, sort of old school gas prices. I think like $300 or something. And so I'm like, I'm not too sure about this project. So I let it mint down. I let it hit the marketplace, and it was just tracking the marketplace and looking at what it was doing. And it went right from 0.6. People were just trying to like somehow incorporate. They were able to mint a lot. I kept seeing people minting and talking if they were minting like 10 and like just a dozen of these things, because at point 05, the way ETH is right now and sort of the trajectory of what we feel is potentially the remnants of a slight bull market, because Azuki has lifted the tide for all NFTs at the moment. It looked like, oh wow, this is price is definitely going to accrue here, but I don't know. In these these seconds when they went from public mint, this was literally like maybe 2-3 minutes. They're just like, hey, we're live, and we sold out. And so if that, so went very, very fast. The Discord became public. It was actually kind of tough because initially the Discord was locked off for mint. It was an interesting thing, to help prevent FUD perhaps, or I never quite had seen that before, or experienced it before. I've heard about it, but turning off your Discord for it. So because it can get loud during a mint in your Discord. And so, I was just like looking at, some of the art, and I was just like, it's good. I mean, these one of ones are like, that's super cool. And, it's got like sort of the Psychonaut Ape Division feel here. Psychedelics, are a big art trend that are definitely a huge part of 2022 and what we're seeing with art and NFT projects in 2022. The Psychonaut Ape Division, actually, which we highlighted, and the artist did really well for their mint, which minted out about 2 days ago or 3 days ago or so. Just did their reveal today, and they went from their mint price to about 0.25. No financial advice, but they did well, I think, in terms of the demand for the art, and I think here I could sense a massive oversubscription to the demand for this art, because not only did it mint out, but when you went on to Opensea and like as soon as it hit, it was just like you can tell when you look at the activity, just things buying every other second, and so that happened. And these floors were quite thick. These weren't, I will say I've been watching some of these other mints, and they're able to manipulate their holders into delisting, into holding. This was pretty thick. Like this hit with like 1,000 to 1,200 suppliers. I mean, it was like people were just here, flip, make money, go. And even then, there was so much demand for this that it ate right through floors. It just broke 0.15. It like smashed through 0.15 just recently. It had been holding there all day, but it was just like as people are understanding and looking at this project, I think they're being led to think maybe there's something more. There's something possible here again through the art. And if you have a team that has some experience in the community, it seems like they've been around. They were able to pull together a lot of disparate communities by marketing to them. But I think what really interested me was, again, no utility whatsoever in the roadmap. Looking at the art, I'm like, art's okay, I don't know. And then I caught on to this bit, and I'm like, what the F? I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me try and extend it for you. Some mariachi dudes. So they have prepared for this launch with a little nugget. This is an NFT world. This is clearly, voxelized, not Roblox, but the fucking other one, sorry. But like, my kids play it all the time. But I think it's amazing that they thought of this, but zero, nod to the marketing of it. It's kind of buried a few days ago, into their messaging, but quite a nice one. This is some work. This is some money that went into this as a presentation, and you can sort of see, okay, well, Roadmap V2 is going to have some voxelized characters, isn't it? And so they've acquired an NFT world and, built it out quite nicely. And so, and in this, it's like easy to see these guys being voxelized. They probably won't get the detail of these like sweet tats, but just this like floating sugar skull, I think could be fun to play with in 3D. And so yes, I apologize, guys. I think I broke every rule that I give you guys about projects, and the team doxed, and do they have a very strong roadmap that you think that they can accomplish? A lot of question marks here, but I aped in. I was just like, I can see the demand. It was something about it was that connection, I think, more so to Cryptoon Goons, and seeing that project, it gave me the slightest sort of vibes. I don't think the art is going to be as good and as varied as Cryptoon Goons. I think that's a real strength of that, and then Goons being sort of a streetwear brand, sort of personified into the NFT project, and seeing that sort of that path. I get that. This I don't quite think has a strong linear vision, other than they built an NFT world, and like props for that. And I can see that these characters could translate well into a voxelized world, just because of that sort of floating candy skull. And it's just like I sort of see the semblances of something. Is the team able to make a game of it? Are they able to, maybe not, but I do think they actually have a really good marketing team here. These guys who did the collabs and the community hype type developments, and you go into the Discord, they're pretty savvy. They've prepared a lot of materials ready for this. There's a lot of GIFs and a lot of things, or GIFs if you're from that side of the world. There's a lot of marketing work that has been done, and clearly some NFT world building in the metaverse being done. And that to me gives me some confidence that with this massive treasury that they just I have like accrued. I'll try maybe to go into Opensea's, guys, and we'll try and take a live look at this. But that was the thing that I think surprised me. Was I'm like, oh, Los Muertos, but this thing, Los Muertos World is the name of it. And so this is indeed part of their vision for this space. And so we're at 0.158 pre-reveal. This is some pretty massive volume. If this is not top 30, I'd be surprised. Top 15. So, we're looking at significant volume, and I think that gives a sense of like, hey, Frenzies is doing okay. Let's just walk through each one of these and talk about them. Everybody was talking about the gutter juice in NFT LA. They were super excited. A lot of Azuki derivatives hitting the marketplace and doing okay. Did you guys see them? I think I must have missed them, or it hasn't quite updated. I think those with icy tools have a benefit of seeing who has the most volume currently in the marketplace. And so so I aped in pretty hard, and zero financial advice here. Do your own research and see if the thing is something that you're interested in, because it is a bit of a gamble. But I just wanted to walk you guys through my process of how I broke all my rules for, again, something that is art that is inspiring in this space, that I think captures something fun about a cultural variable. I really wish, and I'm hoping to get to know more of the people in the Discord. I do see a lot of my Hispanic brothers and sisters in there, and I think that's cool. And I'm just like, I don't think that they have a strong voice. I feel like Azuki, I think a lot of people found out at the party that Azuki is very Asian heavy. What's up, my Asian brothers and sisters? And so, it's just like, I just don't see that representation really for Latinos in the space. And so I was just like, this is dope. And I hope it has some authenticity to it. They're certainly having fun with it, in the Discord, and being very proud. And so I just have my eye on this, and let me know in the comments section if you got into this Los Muertos. because it's flying. But we'll see how high, and maybe we'll do a recap once we hear more in an AMA, and maybe do something post-reveal. My expectations for reveal, not super high, but decent. I feel like I have enough that I can maybe throw away like one or two good ones and then sell the rest at the floor and feel okay about it. But we're definitely going to see a lot of selling. Friday is the reveal. It's Wednesday tonight. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. I do this live because this is live. This is by Friday. It's already going to reveal, and the floor will drop on reveal as they typically do. As people unload, they feel like they maybe have a common, or they just want to like flip out and make some profits, because a lot of people are buying in bulk on this, because at these prices, they're relatively. If you're doing any sort of comparison to anything that remotely looks like it, you're like, wow, this could be, it's not the next Doodles or anything like that, but, it has some potential to be right up there with a lot of other projects that have done fairly well in this space. Again, my expectations are quite limited because of, again, these rules of like engagement. Do they have a team? Do they have all the rules I give you and all the rules that we all know in the NFT space? I'm not going to bore you with them here. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, because I saved you some